Welcome, Frances here. I want to give you a few tips to help you out if you're having problems with your wrists in wheel pose. We'll talk about three things. Number one, why you could potentially be having problems. Number two, a few releases to help you. And number three, some props to help you into the pose to help out if you need a little bit of help there to make it a little milder on your body. All right, so we use two blocks for that. First of all, let's talk about why potentially you could be having pain in your wrists in wheel pose. Full range of motion in extension is 80 to 90 degrees of extension of the wrist. If when you come into the pose, your hands and feet are too far away from each other due to potentially tightness in the shoulders or other areas, then the angle of the form is going to be more toward your hips, creating a sharper angle at the wrists, right? More than 90 degrees, okay? So first of all, what you want to do is make sure that when you're coming into the pose, tuck your hands underneath your shoulder blades, right? Bring your feet in close to your tush, elbows up, belly firm, lift the hips, right? Pushing into your hands, right? You can lift up onto the top of your head, lightly, and then when you come into the pose, you're looking to be no more than 90 degrees of wrist flexion, and that should help you. Okay, that's number one, right? So if your hands are too far away from your shoulders when you first come in. Okay, next, releases that can help. Number one, holding onto your wrist tightly with the other hand and turning, right? So that hand that's holding on tightly is then putting the skin on the drag at the wrist. There's some connective tissue called the retinaculum here that can be released. You'll know that it's working if you are red there. My big joke about this is that it's like your big brother giving you Indian burn, that little torture device that he used to do. So who knew that that would be helpful? So you're basically giving yourself Indian burn, kind of, but what you're really doing is releasing that area. That's number one. Number two, you're going to fold and press. You're going to press with your thumb at the wrist, and folding, you're actually, again, just putting the skin on the drag again. You're pressing hard with this thumb as you fold, and you're loosening up that area a little bit. So that those two moves can potentially be helpful. Number three, using two blocks at an angle. Make sure they're secure. You have enough room for your head in between. Now when you put your head in between the blocks, you place your hands on the blocks, right? You place your feet close to your tush again. You push into your hands, lifting the hips, lifting gently onto your head, and then as you press your arms straight, if you look at the angle of the wrists, it's a much milder angle when you have these blocks to help you up there. So there's a few things to help you with your wrists in wheel pose. I hope that is useful and helpful. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.